What's going on, good people? Happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. Just heading to the gym before I headed in, and I wanted to talk to you guys. Development, personal development. How do you do it? So this video is for you if you're a 9-to-5er. This video is for you if you're unsure of your passion in life. This video is for you if you're looking to develop and are just looking for tools on how you can do that practically, things you can implement today. So let's start with the 9-to-5, just really quickly. So as I mentioned before, the 9-to-5 has certain connotations to it. I hear a lot, that people take the 9-to-5 as kind of like a pyramid scheme or a prison or a trap. And while I do understand that viewpoint and I do sympathize with it, there's other perspectives you can have in it. Like, I sympathize with that philosophy because for me, I value time more than anything. So you spend your time and your energy building someone else's vision when you're working a 9-to-5. That's the absolute truth. However, you can flip that on its head by using a career pathing type model. So what I mean by career pathing is that your 9-to-5 will become a stepping stone to get to the next level that you need to be. Now, of course, that differs between positions, and that depends on your individual preference and desires and passions and what you'd like to do. So with that being said, for the sake of this conversation, we're going to use the 9-to-5 as a stepping stone to get to your next place in your career path or in your plan. So that's the 9-to-5 section. Now let's talk about finding your passion and just a couple of quick tips on how you can do that. So one that I used that a mentor of mine was good enough to share with me. So what you do is that you make a list of everything that interests you. Anything that you may want to do or that you're thinking of doing as either a career or to start a business or just something you want to learn, anything like that, just put it on the top row of an Excel sheet. Then what you're going to do is go in each column and you're going to write all the requirements, competencies, what have you, that are required to achieve that thing in your top line. And some will have a really long list, some will not. But you want to start gathering that data, and you're going to do research on each individual thing. So it's going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, but I promise you the return will be well worth it. So you make your list of everything that you need to do. And then what you're going to do is that you're going to research each one of those things. Let me go back. As you research each one of those things, you're going to take note on the actual tasks that each list item on the top does. So for example, if you want to be an author, let's say writing is a passion of yours and you want to be an author, well, there's certain things that are required to be a best-selling author if that's, in your desires and what you want to do. So then you look at the actual tasks on what a writer does and what they have to do, the real nuts and bolts, the day in, day out stuff. And then you look at that compared to what's required to achieve that list item, and then you do a cost to benefit ratio. Is the cost of what you have to put in time, energy, and money and sacrifice, is it worth it to you when looking at the ROI or the return on that investment? You get what I'm saying? So if the return is worth it for you, then you go and pursue it. And you're going to do this with each one of your passions. So these things that you want to do should represent something that you're passionate about. All right? And then what that'll do is it'll help put in real terms what it's going to take for you to achieve that desire, if that makes sense, or to achieve that goal or that passion. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to do a little bit of planning. All right? So that's the next thing. So once you have your passions laid out, you're going to start to plan out and see exactly how long it's going to take. Now, obviously, if you've done the data collection correctly, then that'll kind of give you a rough idea of how much time it's going to take. So what I'm going to tell you at this point, a lot of people like to cut corners and be in a hurry and say, okay, well, I can do this in a year if I really buckle down. But this is when you got to be really honest with yourself and realistic. So it takes no small amount of courage on your part and self-awareness. So it's important that you be honest with yourself, how feasible things are practically, and then stretch it out Honestly, as long as you need to. Because the name of the game, folks, it's patience. Patience, persistence, and perseverance. Like you hear, the 3 P's. All right, but patience is number 1. You got to be patient, and be patient above all with yourself. It's okay to take your time. It's okay. You know, like tomorrow is not guaranteed, so you want to make sure you take action now, but don't beat yourself up. Take your time. If it's going to take you 5 years to achieve that goal, you know what? It's better spending those 5 years getting there than doing nothing for 5 years and being in the same exact position that you were in. All right, so that's that. So you want to start planning out. A friend of mine was telling me about a timeline tracking, and I may be butchering the term, so I apologize. But the basic premise is that you lay out a timeline of your life, and you're looking at different brackets of ages that you are. And that timeline, if you plan it correctly, should tell you where you should be in each bracket of age. And I think it's brilliant and something that's worth trying to adapt as much as possible in our everyday. You know, so planning ahead and as far ahead as you can is absolutely essential. Now, if the timeline idea, if it seems kind of a little too far for you, that's all right. There are models that use 3-year plans, 5-year plans, 10-year plans. There's a ton of them out there. So you can look at what timelines work best for you. But again, just be patient with yourself. Pace yourself. It's a marathon, not a sprint. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, now, as you go to develop yourself, now that you got your passion figured out, you got your timeline laid out, then it's time to take strategic action. So at this point, I can't really tell you exactly how it's going to be, because depending on your plan and your passion, the variables will change on how you're going to execute from here on. So what I'm going to do is just focus on an overview level to hopefully kind of plant some seeds in your mind so that you can move forward and start to take action. So once you get all that planned, if you're working a 9-to-5 and you have a supportive leader, this is the time to take your plan to your leader. Your leader is in the best position to be able to develop you in a way that you want. And most leaders will do that as long as you are proactive, that you are looking to change. Now, if you're in a position where you don't have a good leader or don't have an opportunity in that place to develop out, then it's time to look for other areas that will offer you the opportunity to start progressing on your passion. So for example, there are certifications that are needed, but you're in an organization that doesn't pay for certifications. Well, you got a choice to make. You could save up and take those certifications that you need, or hustle it if you got a side business. Or you can go to an organization that does pay for it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a concept, about loyalty to an organization, but you know what? Nowadays, loyalty really has to start with you. Are you loyal to your vision and yourself? Because I'll tell you, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, at the end of the day, it's all about the bottom line when it comes to running a business. So as much as your leaders care, they are governed by the market. Okay, so it's that bottom line. So if that market doesn't favor what you're trying to do, you need to find a better opportunity for yourself, an area where you can move and move up. Okay, and I understand this is an area where a lot of people have apprehension for a number of reasons, but there are a lot of avenues. It may not be another job. It may be really to start a different side business or start a business, period. So be open to solutions, but you got to now proactively seek the mentors, seek the positions, seek the placement that's going to be easiest for you to move. For those of you who are leaders in an organization, it is absolutely essential when you do your one-on-ones and your coaching sessions with your employees. If you do it, you should be doing it no matter what industry you're in. But as you do your sit down with them, ask those critical questions on where they want to go and begin to develop independent development plans for your associate and hold them accountable to track it and to self-develop. Okay? So guys, actually, before I finish, let me backtrack. So the reason why I say that for leaders is because you want to develop your associates the right way. Why? Because you want them to leave the organization the right way. Again, part of an older concept of managing talent is that, you want to develop the associate just enough to where they can do the job proficiently, but not so much that then they'll want to leave for a better position, because then they feel like they're losing. And in a sense, while that's true on the front end, when you look at the long run, at the long race, that actually does better for your brand, because word of mouth, gets around, and people like to go to jobs that will develop them into better positions so they can leave and either do their own thing or move on to something better. People like that. So you'll attract better talent into the organization because they see opportunity for them. And that's the name of the game. We're creating value here. That's why I do these videos, to create value. Forget the front end price. I'm not looking for money here, and neither are they, because they're paying you. You're not paying them in a way. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to get time and energy out of you. So make sure that if they're doing that, that they're compensating you enough if you're the employee, and if you're the leader, make sure that you're providing enough value for your associates to develop them. Because let's face it, before you become a leader, it's all about developing yourself. But once you're a leader, it's all about developing your team and everyone else. It's a quote from Jack Welch. It's one that I live by as a leader. I think it's very poignant, and I would recommend it to you as well to start thinking on that line. Let's develop our employees the right way. Let's develop them up and out. Let's create better leaders in the world. All right. And last point I want to make for you, if you're trying to develop out, it's about self-empathy. It's really about taking it easy on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. We're all at different levels in life, you know what I mean? And wherever you're at, it's not impossible to get out. I mean, some of us are in more complex situations than others, but there's always a way. There's always a way, and there's always an answer. So I hope you guys found this video useful. Definitely look into developing your own independent development plans using some of the tools that I've laid out here. There's a ton of them out there, so feel free to look on your own. All right. So guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Gonna get my workout in. All right. So I'll see you guys next time. Have a powerful rest of your day.